Bequeathius. It's just you and me hanging out on the streets of yet another city here as we are back in Washington tonight. Exciting times. Michael Frankowiak is also here. Hi, Michael. Well, interesting days. The Yankees won their first game of their divisional playoff series today, so good for them against the Cleveland Guardians. Not so good for Cleveland. Phillies also won. Good for them over the Braves. The Dodgers, I believe, are either winning or have won. And the Astros, the cheating Astros, beat the Mariners today by 1 run. So, shame on them. Tough to beat cheaters sometimes. Anyway, let's see. Who all is here? Bequeathius is here. Michael is here. D. Green is here. Congratulations, guys. You are the medal winners tonight. Jeanette is also here. Welcome, Jeanette. GH is here. Karina is here. Will Budick is here. Let's see. Will fancies Tulsi Gabbard. We're going to talk a little bit about Tulsi Gabbard, guys. Big Dog is here. Cassandra is here. Rainmaker is here, guys. Awesome. So we are here in DC tonight, as you can see. Hopefully the streets are relatively quiet. We may or may not have giant rats once again, which has become a bit of a recurring theme as we have toured the streets of DC the last several weeks. And of course there's DC news, as always, to talk about. There's sort of all the typical political chatter, that you would expect in this kind of lead up to a midterm election, which is now under a month away and, storming down upon us. I don't know what all these loud bangs are off in the distance. I'm hoping this is not some Armageddon situation, but there are a bunch of loud bangs that you will hear off in the distance. So we'll see what we can find. Hopefully, yeah, what is that? What is that? Construction? Bombs going off? I have no idea, but it's very odd. Oh. Anyway, guys, welcome to Land Speculation here on YouTube. If you have not dropped a like out of the gate, I do appreciate that. Those likes help us out with YouTube. The subscribes help you guys know when we're on. Sounds like we might have some rats here in this trash can. Boy. Really loud and creepy, says Karina. Yeah, I don't know what is going on, guys. Why we have such loud noises coming off in the distance. Should I be scared? I don't know. Try to find out. Head toward the noise, says Jeanette. Sounds like a wrecking ball, says GH. Yeah, let me just, I'm gonna gradually see if I can follow it, and we'll see what we can find. It is definitely, you don't want to hear loud bangs in Washington. I mean, one of the things about living in DC in particular, I mean, any large city, but in particular DC, is, occasionally stuff happens. And, in my many years of living here, there have been instances where, you're on your way to work and you realize that, a big swath of the city is shut down and blockaded because there was some kind of major incident, some kind of, you never know what. There was an incident several years ago where, there was some gunfight going on, near a Starbucks, and they just had to blockade off half the city because they weren't sure if it was some kind of, act of terrorism or something. You get that kind of stuff, but this is getting louder and louder, so we're going to keep walking and see what we can find. If it is in fact a wrecking ball, I don't know what that would be wrecking here in the middle of downtown, but I guess we'll try to go find out. Man, what the heck is that? Anyway, that's no wrecking ball, says Super Nintendo Zach. Like gunshot bombs. Jesus. What in the hell? Yeah, guys, I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's very bizarre. There are a few police cars in the vicinity here. So wow. I've never encountered anything like this. Okay. It's a cannon, it's a different person. Why would they be shooting off a cannon here at 1 in the morning on the streets of central Washington, D.C.? And where is it actually happening? It's tough to tell because of the reverb. I can't even really tell which direction it's coming from. I know we've gotten closer. That's happening in the FBI headquarters here. That little plume of smoke up there? Yeah, these are little plumes of smoke coming out of the FBI headquarters. This is the FBI headquarters, guys. Right here. This is the FBI headquarters. I have no idea. I have no idea what this is. I assume this is something that was planned. Like, I don't know, are they testing some kind of a ceremonial cannon or something? I would think if this were some kind of like incident, that there'd be a lot more freaking out going on here at the ground level. There's no like massive emergency scene or anything happening here on the street. Why test at night? I have no idea. Why would they even have, certain cannons on the roof of the FBI headquarters? I have no idea, guys. If anybody is able to stumble into any kind of explanation online or on Twitter or anything like that, I don't know. I have no idea what this is. So, the FBI headquarters here is along Pennsylvania Avenue, which is, basically the avenue that connects the Capitol building to the White House. We're about halfway between the Capitol and the White House. You can see, again, the plumes of smoke here over the FBI headquarters. Executions, rogue cops probably training. I just can't imagine why they'd be doing that kind of training here at the, bureaucratic headquarters of the FBI at flashbang training? Could be. I would think they'd have some kind of, facility out in Maryland or Virginia or somewhere for that kind of thing. I mean, it's a big headquarters building here. You can see how massive the building is here. It occupies basically an entire block. But, it's like right in the heart of downtown. I mean, you're literally right next to office buildings. And, you're across the street from various federal agencies. The former Trump Hotel is catty corner here. It's not the Trump Hotel anymore. It's now the Waldorf Astoria. this is where we are. By the way, guys, well, you're watching here Land Speculation on YouTube. You never know what we're going to get out of the gate on our streams. And I guess we stumbled into this this mysterious set of flashbangs here at the FBI headquarters. If you are just joining us out of the gate, that's what's going on here. Stuff to talk about tonight, but you know, this is unusual. At any rate, you know, if anybody feels like dropping a like or a subscribe on the video, I do appreciate that. Those likes help us out with YouTube. The subscribes help you guys know when we're on it. Check our description for links to our Discord and our Duck Fund. It does sound like Heavy Duty Ammo, says GH. It's the ghost of G. Edgar Hoover? Why is it so frequent? Repetitive, loud? I don't know. Streetlights blocking the view. Yeah, I'm trying to stay a little inconspicuous, obviously. But we can try to go over here a little bit. I mean, all we're seeing is, you know, smoke kind of pillowing over the FBI headquarters here. Scaring away the water tower. Again, I'm hesitant to do too much talking just because it seems to be every few seconds just popping off. G. Edgar Hoover, the famous relative of J. Edgar Hoover, I guess. Maybe the FBI can't afford gas to drive to the range, so they move the range to the roof. You know, there are a lot of people that live in downtown DC. I mean, obviously we do. You know, there's you know, several tens of thousands of people, I guess, that I would say live within pretty close proximity to this. And, you know, for people that go to sleep at normal hours, this is not, you know, the most conducive to that. Nobody seems to be freaking out, though. We've got a guy next door just sort of power washing the sidewalk in front of their building, and they don't seem to be freaking out. These police cars parked around the outside of the building don't seem to be freaking out. And none of these cars along Pennsylvania Avenue seem to be freaking out. So I'm assuming this is fine. Very intense game of hardball. DC or Kiev? Go ask a cop. Ask the dude power washing. Yeah. Maybe. Pyramid. Nothing on testing exercise, nothing I can find. I mean, I would assume you'd have to be, like, permitted for this kind of thing to do it in the middle of the night, but maybe it's a federal government thing. They don't have to ask permission. Man, that was the biggest plume of smoke we've seen yet. I don't know, guys. Not what I expected to start the stream with tonight. As you can tell, we're out on the streets of Washington. And every time I try to say something, the big bangs interrupt my sentences. Is this some kind of fight between, you know, Donald Trump and his army trying to take back the White House? I don't think so. Is there a lobby or outside patrol that you could contact? Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling out the lay of the land, and it doesn't seem act like anybody else is alarmed. So, other people are not alarmed. I'm going to not be alarmed, I guess. But I'm curious. I'm definitely curious. Everything started with the Big Bang. I don't know. I guess if you're the FBI, you don't really have to ask permission to do stuff. Lights keep going on and off on the top floor, JL. I haven't even been paying attention. Is that true? They do have a courtyard in the middle of this building. The courtyard, I thought, was just people have like lunch and stuff. This looks like it's coming off the roof, though, not out of the courtyard. The lay of the land. Oh man, you know, if we had like an after hours channel, that's a pretty good name for it. Big dog. If we had, you know, other platforms that a little bit more like after midnight type platforms, the lay of the land would be kind of an interesting title. Can I go? Is there somewhere I can go see the top of the FBI building? I don't think so. Quiet. I don't think there's anywhere I can particularly do that. I mean, the one rooftop in the vicinity I can get up to here, I don't think is going to have a direct on view of this. I think you're just going to get, you would just see plumes of smoke kind of billowing on top of you know, the building. Oh, we could try it. I mean, we could try it. Smoke follows sounds too close to be in the courtyard. Yeah, I agree with that. You can't call the building at the moment out of office hours. Yeah, that's why it's weird that this is happening at this time. After midnight, things get weird. True. Filming Ukraine propaganda. Any parking garages around? No, not like that, Jeanette. DC doesn't really have any above ground parking garages. In fact, it's actually it's a very unusual thing compared to other cities.
Did you see that? Can we get viral, yo?
Um,
Can we get viral?
DC is.
What the hell is going on tonight,
Oh, man.
Is that, are they training or something over
I have no idea, man.
Bro.
Two lights just went off. Yeah, it's weird actually. You're right. There's a few of the random lights on the top floor keep going on and off. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna just do a little loop. See if anything yields here. There's lots of smoke. So, you know, it's not a beautiful building to begin with. I mean, it's a very fortress-like, brutalist monstrosity of a building. Like, there are no like retail edges or anything like that to the building, and it is super, super, super kind of secured around the edges. Across the street, basically everything's closed. Obviously, it's the middle of the night in downtown DC. We're literally half a block from Ford's Theater, which we have checked out before. Obviously, that's where Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Up this block right here, there's just no activity out here. Like, if this were... Anyway, it's clearly something that's planned. Like, I just don't know what. So we'll do a little loop and, come back around. But, DC police are a relatively curious bunch. Jeanette, I assume they would have been tipped off if anything like this was happening. I just find it hard to believe that, they would do this at, 1:30 in the morning. Because again, these are mostly office buildings, but there are residential buildings tucked in and around. That building right up ahead of us there is a residential building on the next block over, immediately adjacent to this building where these explosions are going off. People live there and are probably trying to sleep right now. And this is definitely, it's disruptive. It's also incredibly alarming. And sometimes in DC you just kind of take stuff as it comes, but why would they do this at this time of night? I don't know. That sound will be traveling to residential, yes. DC police has no jurisdiction at the building, says Will Buddick. It is a federal, obviously it's the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I guess they can do what they want. Still seems weird. Still seems very, very, very weird. FBI frat party? Maybe this is just what they do. I don't know. A little quieter on this side. It is a giant fortress-like building, so hearing a little bit less over here. It's an interesting way to park a bike. That bike is kind of messed up. Look at these barricades they have all around the FBI building. I don't know if they have this giant, concrete set of barricades over here, but then just in case, they have giant concrete barricades over here masquerading as planter boxes. We always get surprises here on Land Speculation. Is this the Bible stream? We might need a Bible stream, Jay Luther, here. The FBI blows, but I wasn't expecting sounds. I don't know. FBI's also, been mired in controversy the last several years. Because there were more pieces today about the Steele dossier and all that stuff. What's weird is that otherwise the building seems extremely quiet. It doesn't seem like there's a big, operation going on within the building. I mean, it's got a few lights on, but that just seems like lights they would leave on overnight. There's a fountain you can hear faintly that is in their courtyard. It's a really weird building because there's no street presence to it. There's a big sort of moat that kind of, I guess, goes into whatever their parking garage is down there. Then there's a big concrete wall, and then a giant courtyard. And everything's sort of on pillars, and the building is above that. So it's a really weird building to have right in the middle of downtown. I think if they were starting from scratch, they wouldn't probably have located the FBI headquarters right here. They probably would move this somewhere else, and maybe they will. It's a weird building to have in this part of town. Because again, we're right on Pennsylvania Avenue. The National Archives is right there. This is the rupture, not the rapture. If the rapture was 3 weeks ago, why are we still here? I guess try and get in the building. Tell them you're Special Agent Landduck. I'm sure they know exactly who we are. I mean, their technology is unbelievable. And, I'm sure they monitor pretty closely who's around their building. Is there a Denny's open? Yeah, not in downtown. I've never seen a Denny's. There's a little waffle shop just up the street there. That's a pretty nice little place. But other than that, not really. Oh, okay. So many strange noises. Yeah, guys. Strange noises. I don't know what to say. We are risking the comfort of our hearing right now, I guess. Jeez. Some are louder than others. It's kind of reverbing. Yes, it's definitely reverbing off all the surrounding buildings. It's very weird. You can just sort of hear it. Yeah, kind of billowing up and down Pennsylvania Avenue. We got like a few sporadic cop cars. Just kind of on some of these surrounding blocks at random. We need to, are you guys timing between the blasts? That's a good question, D Green. I don't know how long it's taking between blasts. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. Jeez. Not consistent timing? I mean, if it's not consistent timing, I guess that would be consistent with the idea. It's just somebody like going rogue. Just, I don't know. They're testing something, I guess. I really don't know. So the news is getting closer to you. Well, we were getting closer to the noise. It's really just sort of how it reverbs around the block. Well, I hesitate to get into any topics because every few seconds one of these giant blasts interrupts my train of conversation. But I see people talking about Tulsi Gabbard here in the chat. Obviously, we wanted to talk a little about her today. She has officially and pretty unsurprisingly left the Democratic Party today. I don't know what her voting record is. I didn't check like the percentages on how she votes on particular legislation. Whether she tends to align with the Democrats or not. I would assume she's pretty close to the center, but I'm not sure. So, I don't know if that was like super surprising. It does, very, very, very slightly, I guess, alter the math in terms of who's going to have the majority in the House of Representatives. I guess she's not in the House of Representatives anymore, so maybe it doesn't. But will she become a Republican? I don't know. She's abstained a lot, says Michael. There's actually training. Why wouldn't they just do it at a training location far away from the city? I agree with that, Quiet Castle. I also don't know why it would be happening at this time of the night. The acoustics are very different all around the building, that's true. Bequeathius does not like Tulsi Gabbard on guns or abortion. Yeah, I mean, well, I never, I mean, you know, I understand why it happens. It's just sort of the nature of kind of how humans end up kind of aligning into tribes. But like, why someone's position on taxation invariably would be expected to align with their positions on, you know, abortion or their positions on foreign policy, or their, like, why are these things sort of aligned in the ways they are in the particular party groupings? Like, why can't you have more people that are a little bit rogue and all over the place? There's I think there were 85 different platform positions in the Democratic Party platform the last presidential election. What are the chances, you know, everybody in that party is going to align on 85 completely different issues? So I always, you know, have some respect. People are willing to be a little bit out of the box and, you know, pick their spots a little bit. Short voting record. She's a one-term representative since Jay Luther. Already declared as an independent. Can I smell the smoke? Let me see. No, I would say I cannot smell the smoke. Not that I can really discern, at any rate. I mean, again, it's the middle of the night. It's a cool night in DC. It's not cold, but it's cool. It's a little breeze. The smoke's way up there. I guess I'm not shocked I can't smell the smoke. But yeah, no, I really can't. Again, we're sort of here adjacent to the FBI headquarters. Probably some sinister to just DC residents used to the sounds of blast, says Super Nintendo Zach. I'm not sure what that means, but, you know, are people just used to it? I mean, this might be a regular thing that I just haven't noticed before. I'm not entirely sure. It is definitely noisy. I was surprised on the other side of the block it didn't seem to carry all that much. The building really does sort of muffle it. Jeez. But we're definitely in the epicenter of the noise zone right now. More smoke. Party is wherever I am, says Bequeathius. JL, she votes on the left a lot. She's a very reasonable person, anti-war, anti-military industrial complex, which is good. Pro-choice, that's good enough for me, says Jay Luther. Superintendent Zach says, they don't, we need more parties. Once president, you also tend to change. Yep. You start hearing gunfire. Run for cover. That'd be a thing. Start hearing like gunfire in addition to this cannon fire. According to the latest Gallup poll, the poll, 22% of the country identifies as Republican, 22% identifies as Democrat, 44% identifies as independent, which would mean there's a sizable percentage of people who are undecided. That would be pretty low percentages of party affiliation relative to the past. War of the Worlds started with loud, strange bangs, says Michael. D Green is going to drive me crazy not knowing what they're doing. Yeah, it's kind of... D Green is definitely odd. I don't know if people are poking around Twitter or, you know, it sounds like there's nothing online, you know, indicating anything about this. Previously, I would ban political parties and make everybody run as themselves. They'd, of course, form informal coalitions, but get rid of this voting for the R or the D shit. It's hard to generate the momentum to be able to publicize yourself enough without the party affiliations. In all my streams, we've never heard this. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And we're often out, late at night. So this does seem like it's not a regular thing. Unless it just, we've just missed it when it just happened. Blowing up all the evidence. Jeez. I'm just hearing these surrounding buildings have a lot of glass and it just, man, it's I keep expecting to just hear some glass breaking or something. It's not very noticeable. It's a war zone. Is my life insurance up to date? Those lights might be motion sensitive. The bangs might be turning them on. That's very possible, Degree, and that's actually a really interesting point. Motion censored lights. A new torture procedure, maybe. Super Nintendo Zach has found nothing. I'm starting to smell a little bit of smoke, guys. It's down here a little bit. I'm not surprised I smell a lot, but I'm smelling a little bit down here. It's very slight, very faintly. Is this in violation of the local noise ordinance? I don't know how it couldn't be, Big Dog. Now, there's a fine line between federally owned property here down on the federal core. Usually, this is a very contentious zone of DC because both DC and the federal government have purview down here. Pennsylvania Avenue, basically a street maintained by the federal government. And you remember when they were making the large defund the police markings in the streets in different cities, there were protesters that painted a giant defund the police message up near the White House on streets owned and operated by the city, here, the District of Columbia. And then they also tried to do it down here on Pennsylvania Avenue. And the federal government was having none of it. The federal government immediately got rid of it. Whereas the DC government not only kept it, but has now enshrined it in the street and basically sculpted it into the street, and it's still there. So it's a very, very, very different modus operandi here down on Pennsylvania Avenue and in this part of DC. I mean, this is federal core, not district. Why am I the only reporter on the scene, Big Dog? I don't know the answer to that. The new IRS agents practicing tax collection. They don't really do tax collection at the IRS. We need you to get to that roof. Could be an air compressor burst. They use stuff like that for birds on airfields. That's interesting. 2 lights in the upper level just came on. Interesting. 2014, a man was arrested for break-in on the roof. Delight, I need a drone cam. That would not be looked on favorably, Delight. Drones in federal court of DC are not looked on favorably. There's a lot of federal ordinances against those. They're putting chemicals in the air to turn men to women and the women into super women. I guess that's possible, Bequeathius. Seems unlikely. Chemicals in the air is a really bad way. If you're like a government that's trying to like indoctrinate people, chemicals, it's much, much, much better to do that using the water supply than the air supply. There's just so much damn air that anything you put in the air supply almost immediately becomes completely diluted. It's why the chemtrails conspiracy theory makes absolutely no sense. It's the least efficient way to possibly spread chemicals into the bloodstreams of the population. It would just, you would need so many damn chemicals compared to what you could do if you just put it in the water supply, or in the food, or whatever. But just spraying things into the air just doesn't make any sense if you're trying to. Are we D Brown and D Green? Was I confusing D Brown and D Green? You guys are both orange Ds. And your names look almost identical. D Brown, D Green. Everyone in DC is sleeping or drunk. Why so much smoke if it's a compressor? Is it an over-emotional guy having a meltdown, possibly? They got all kinds of places to test, train, and dispose of things. Why would they be doing it here? What is the police's proper name? The DC Metropolitan Police would be, the DC police force. But the police cars parked immediately around the building right here are the FBI police cars. Man, he's playing a tape. He's spoofing guys. If I were playing a tape, Big Dog, I would have actually put this in the description of the video. Could be equipment failure if there is no sulfur smell. That I was kind of wondering that, Michael. Is this some kind of like malfunctioning equipment up there? I don't know. People don't understand how modern turbofan engines work. Chemtrails is a stupid way to do it, yeah. The banging noise or munition sound, nothing to be having any coverage on MSM or in social media, only covered by yourself, says D. Brown. Hard to believe you're the only one out there checking it out, even in the middle of the night. Yeah, that is... I'm surprised by it too, honestly. Like, I'm really surprised that there is, just nobody else out at all. There's just nobody. And... Well, that police car freaked out. But doesn't seem to be related to this. There's one additional FBI police car that just pulled out adjacent to the building. But none of them seem to be like freaking out in any way. Vinyl. We don't know what this sound is. It's coming off of the top of the FBI building here in DC. It's loud explosions with smoke that we've been hearing all night since we started streaming, 45 minutes ago. And we have no idea what it is. There are a number of FBI police cars kind of parked here on the streets surrounding the FBI headquarters. But other than that, kind of nobody even really acknowledging it. There was one guy on the sidewalk that was kind of freaking out about what the hell's going on. Other than that, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Seems to be nothing online about it. But repeated explosions and smoke on the top of the FBI building in the middle of downtown DC at 2 in the morning, you would think would be getting some attention, but it's not. Which means it must be either something pre-planned or regular, or maybe nobody else is noticing. I don't know. Brown, Green, Smith, and Johnson. Those are 4 common last names. That's true. Very common last names. Capitol Hill Police run the show in DC. They have a very limited jurisdiction. The Capitol Police Force has, sort of autonomy over Capitol Hill, but very, very, very tiny jurisdiction compared to the DC Metropolitan Police. Very big force. A lot of Capitol Police officers, but very, very limited jurisdiction. It gets a lot quieter when you go around the building just because the building is so fortress-like. What failsafe could repeatedly go unchecked this long? A report like this, it's FBI headquarters, so curious. Yeah, I don't know if this is some malfunction thing. You'd think they'd be all over this. On the other hand, I guess the FBI they're just as bureaucratic an organization as everyone else. It's a bunch of 9-to-5 people. Maybe just not noticing. Here's the Capitol Dome there off in the distance here as we're crossing Pennsylvania Avenue. As you continue to hear the explosions in the background. And there's the FBI headquarters basically across the street now, kind of blocked by trees. But you can still hear those. The Department of Justice here's across the street, so the DOJ and FBI right adjacent to each other. The DOJ, the FBI, and the IRS are basically all immediately proximate to each other. So, I guess there are synergies between them. If it was a malfunction, people would be running to stop it or figure it out. Those are gunshots or electrical markings? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. There are big, visible plumes of smoke every time one of the explosions happens. Someone's popping really big packaging bubbles. That could be. Yeah, I don't know. Great fun. There's so many damn trees in the way. Um, let's see if we can catch the next one, if there's any smoke visible up here. There's only one DC channel on scanner, not sounding too exciting, says Jeanette. Yeah, only a very tiny little bit of smoke showing up here. You can see it through there. Just a little plume of smoke every time this goes off. What if you just called the FBI headquarters, asked the operator? I mean, you guys can do that. I'm using my phone to stream here, so if anybody wants to call and ask, and report back to us, I'm certainly open to it. Nothing on Twitter. Hope this is actually something Lance can sell his footage to the MSM for. I must just be out of the loop. I don't know. There's a dozen police jurisdictions in DC. Yep. Call and wake up the FBI, you crazy. Capitol Hill Police are national. They have a few outposts in other cities because some of the investigations they do touch, national. But no, the Capitol Police Force is, under the jurisdiction of the U.S. Capitol campus, which is only about 500 acres in D.C. It's a really, really, really tiny area. So we're just kind of circling blocks down here. Just kind of get the lay of the land a little more. We're now kind of down in like federal office building maze hell down here. It's lots of these big security planters basically here to prevent anybody from driving into any of these buildings, which are themselves very fortress-like, but obviously security is a tremendous priority. And they pay a lot of people to go off security. Look at the sandbags. Whatever's in here must be very sensitive. Sandbags blocking the entrance to that garage. So freaking strange. They're doing it to demonstrate strength to the Russians. That could be. Let's see. The Dodgers won 5-3 game one. Yeah, they really do ruin the baseball playoffs for ordinary fans, don't they? Manfred's so busy worried about the fucking pitch clock. He needs to do something about stopping the Dodgers. Nothing is turning away more fans from baseball than the incessant appearance of the Dodgers in their boring-ass color scheme in the postseason. Corruption Corner. Done. Hey. No one is talking on the scanner. Maybe the FBI had a long meeting and everyone ate Taco Bell. That'd be very explosive, wouldn't it? They're using the explosions as some kind of network of acoustic monitoring to build a 3D model of the city. That sounds like an interesting theory, Bequeathius. implausible but interesting. I just have a hard time believing that's the deal. Yes, it's been very regular. You know, basically for the entire hour or so that we've been streaming to this point in the night. It's bizarre. It is definitely bizarre. We're now down on Constitution Avenue, and like down here you can't even hear it anymore. It is possible, you know, that this is a regular thing, and we've been out walking around, and we just have not been that close to the FBI headquarters at the exact time when they're doing that, because getting even a couple blocks away here, the ambient noise of the city combined with the big buildings that kind of block the noise, you kind of can't hear it anymore. And we're not, you know, again, we're not even far away. So maybe this is something that happens regularly. Can't see any flashes. Yeah, no flashes, but I think that's because of the angle of the roof. We can't see what's actually, you know, popping off and exploding, making those explosions happen. We had something similar at a large building, something about air conditioning units surrounded by keys. I mean, I could believe it's something like that. I would just be surprised if this was some kind of major malfunction in the HVAC system, that there wouldn't be more freaking out about it. There wouldn't be somebody there like immediately trying to do something about it. If the Russians nuke the South Pole, all the ice will melt and Mar-a-Lago will be underwater. Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, if they cause the sea levels to rise a lot, destroy some of the evidence at Mar-a-Lago, I don't know. Possible. Seems like a really big thing to nuke the entire Antarctic to the point where it would raise sea levels around the world. Doesn't seem like it would even raise them all that much. The ice on the Antarctic isn't that high. Watch out for the huge rat. Yeah, I thought the excitement tonight was going to be huge rats. Instead, the excitement is these explosions there at the FBI headquarters. And there's the Capitol building down there. So, in a few short steps, we were able to step over here to the National Mall, which, in comparison, is like completely quiet, and you can't hear a damn thing from over there. I was curious how far this sound was going to travel, and it really doesn't travel. What if Land stepped into an alternate reality? That would be strange. Has Mrs. Land evacuated yet? As far as I know, there are no evacuations. I timed it, it's almost every 20 seconds. Sometimes every 10 or so seconds, says Vinyl. I don't know. To poke around and ask some folks. I will try to get to the bottom of it. Probably won't have an answer for you tonight, but I will try to get an answer for you generally. The booms have changed quite dramatically in sound now, yeah. I mean, now that we're down at the National Mall, you can't hear a damn thing. And again, that's pretty crazy because you can hear it very, very, very faintly, I guess. Someone's saying on the Discord, I called the FBI. They said they were in the building. They said no noise was going on. They denied it no matter what I said. That is strange. So the FBI is denying there are explosions going on the roof of their building. I can't corroborate that, but that's what someone said. That is kind of shocking, if that's the case. The Guardians blew it today, says Dunn. Yeah, they lost in the first game today. They still got a few games to come back, but I suspect they won't. Could be to scare birds. There are companies that set up CO2 cartridges to scare birds. Like, are birds a big threat in October? Maybe they are. Maybe it's like migrating birds they're worried about. Called the DC police. They forwarded me to the FBI with no response, says D. Green. Interesting. Capitol Police are pretty much in charge, aren't challenged that jurisdiction. They protect Congress nationwide. Yeah, I mean, they are definitely, they definitely rule the roost where they are. And, we talked about this back during January 6th. Like, they have a reputation for being real hard asses. The Capitol Police does not take shit. And, that's why I was so surprised that January 6th happened the way that it did. Anyway, there's the Washington Monument down there, and there is the Capitol building back there. So we stepped out here for a few minutes to take a breather from the explosions at the FBI headquarters that we have been hearing tonight. I hope nobody comes after our video or anything. It's, if that's true, that people have been calling the FBI and they're just saying, like, nothing's going on, like, I don't know what to make of that. What are they hiding? Do they just not know? I don't know. Okay, anyway, let's see. Well, I go back to it. Yeah, I'll stop back in a few minutes, guys. The thing about being, out on the streets of DC, and really any big city late at night, is I like to keep moving a little bit. There's always characters out and about. There were a lot of police people gathered around, and I wanted to keep moving a little bit, at least for the time being here. We'll kind of circle back around there in a few minutes and see if it's still happening. But anyway, here's your interlude here with the Capitol building and everything else. So now it's going to go back. Yeah, we'll go back here in a minute, guys. Okay. President Joe Biden renewed the proposal to relocate the FBI from downtown D.C. to the suburbs of Maryland or Virginia, says Delight. That's been talked about for years and years and years and years, and for some reason it's just really, really, really hard for them to pull off. But there has been chatter, about taking that giant FBI building and turning it into, tearing it down and basically using that block for apartments or condos or something else. The show FBI is on now. What a coincidence. What if something is trying to force its way into our world? It's possible. This nonsense would never happen under J. Edgar Hoover's watch. Other kinds of nonsense would happen under J. Edgar Hoover's watch. Let's see. Why would we need acoustics mapping? I don't know. It could also be Bigfoot. That's true. The FBI has him, but he's not happy about it. Who knows? Could be a very large woman twerking violently. That's possible as well. Leave a popcorn trail, says B4. When sound travels, it gets a lot of reward points. Frequent flyer miles, I suppose. Sound travels surprisingly slowly, though. Bigfoot busted into the FBI armory and is tossing flashbangs? That sounds unlikely, doesn't it? It's either equipment failure or something to scare birds away, says Michael, hypothesizing here. People want to go back, but be safe. Okay. What is the smoke right in front of us? So, okay, guys. Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to ask, because we were looking back toward the FBI building, and there was a big plume of smoke in the foreground. That was unrelated to the big flashbangs happening at the FBI headquarters where there was smoke. And I was wondering if that was a confusing shot to people. But yeah, there was like, that was just, I think, smoke from some kind of ventilation system for one of these buildings. That was not related. By the way, there is the Washington Monument and, of course, the Lincoln Memorial behind it. We haven't been down to the Lincoln Memorial in a while. One of these streams we should get down there and see that. Looked it up, and AC can sound like gunfire. Thermostat causes it to be timed. Pressure causes bangs. I could believe that, surrounded by Keith. That could very well be the case. FBI has no knowledge, no involvement. I can neither confirm nor deny. Seems to be their story, yes. FBI in denial, no way. Stat wants us to go back to the explosions. Watch, a bunch of FBI agents will show up and take the man's phone away from him for evidence. Oh, that would be like the best outcome, I suppose, if that's all they did. Do I have any FBI friends in D.C.? Asks D. Green. Why not? You could be famous. I don't know. Stuff like this happens all the time. Depends what it is. That is a very bright light we're staring into right now. Get away from that. Okay, we're gonna head back here and see if it's still ongoing. Let's see. Lulu. Hey, Lulu. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, the booms are on top of the FBI building. From one side, puff of smoke can be seen. We do not know what it is. You're in D.C. and you just said circle back. Yes, I committed one of my own pet peeves, didn't I? We're going to circle back. Circle the wagons. Sharpen our pencils. Cliche, cliche, cliche. Pretty sure it's a faulty AC unit, industrial size, says surrounded by Keith. CIA headquarters is in Fairfax, Virginia. Did it stop, says Delight? No, we just walked a little bit away from it, where I'm surprised we can't hear it even like 2 blocks away. Well, you can start to hear it again very faintly. You can hear it off in the distance. Of course, there is ambient street noise, which does cover up some of the noise. So you can hear these cars driving by us on our right. They are headed basically down the tunnel onto the highway, onto I-395. Same tunnel those protesters walked down back in 2020. But yeah, you can still hear the explosions happening right now. National Archives, of course, here on our way back. FBI gave you an automated phone recording. Could be Trump's toilet backing up again. Yeah, that sounds... Well, he doesn't live here anymore. Okay, there you go. There's another one. Boom. Not much Tulsi Yankee rat coverage. Yeah, you know, guys, sometimes the things we think we're going to talk about. We did talk a little bit about the Yankees. We talked a little bit about Tulsi. I heard some rats on our way out. We've not seen any rats yet tonight. But I thought the big rats were going to be the excitement of tonight, but instead it's these explosions. Unfortunately, when we're outside, we can't change the header after we start, so I'm kind of playing a guessing game every time. Okay. Toasted webs. Even from Arizona, quiet for the storm. Yeah, something like that. Many buildings in D.C. are still heated with steam systems under the streets. Can you still hear the explosions faintly? Good Lord, I rewind and watching Blasting on the Roof. Yeah, that's, we're gonna head back here in a moment, depending on what the scene is. You know, at least circle again. Liam's tape machine just ran out of battery power. Yes, hello, Toasted Webs. Land is the bomb. Maybe. Yeah, guys, if you're not on our Discord yet, the description has a link to our Discord. If anybody hasn't dropped a like or a subscribe tonight, I do really appreciate that. You know, this is somewhat interesting coverage. And we're kind of light on the likes tonight. I don't want to get greedy, but anyway, you know, drop a like, drop a subscribe if you can. If you're so inclined. Check the description for links to our Discord and our Duck Fund, and yeah, if we do find anything out, we'll try to update on our Discord at the very least. Yep, you guys can hear it a little bit more now. This Department of Justice building has been blocking a lot of the noise as we kind of wander to the other side of the street. We'll, you know, see what we can hear. It seems like it's still happening, at the very least here. And this is the FBI headquarters here across the street. And there you go. There's loud blasts still happening. So, my carne asada burrito is getting cold. I mean, you can eat a burrito while you listen to us. Unless this is just so exciting you can't, your appetite. You lost your appetite. Of course, we're here at Pennsylvania Avenue. You can see the Capitol there. Can you point out which side is which? Like which side of the building? So Pennsylvania Avenue here runs basically diagonal south of the FBI headquarters. This building right ahead of us right now, this giant building, is the FBI headquarters, and it basically fills the entire block ahead of us, including that cantilevered overhang there ahead of us. It's a massive building. It has a big courtyard in the middle of it. We are just south of it right now, and we're going to kind of walk the southern edge and then, you know, maybe circle around it again. But you can hear in the background, of course, these explosions are still happening. And as best I can tell, I don't know what they are. So we are walking basically directly due west right now. And you can hear it's getting louder and louder as we walk this direction. What I called Ghostbusters. Oh, cantilever is the word of the day, apparently. Knock on the door. Yeah, I think they would not let us in. And be very suspicious of why we were doing that. You know, around the block here, there are about, I've noticed about 4 or 5 of these FBI police cars stationed here. That I guess, is the front door if you were going to visit the FBI headquarters for some reason. That's where you would actually, like, go in the... That's where you can, you know, see the main entrance. How long will this go on? I don't know. So, as you can tell, it's just gotten louder as we get closer to this corner of the building. Man, the reverb against some of these surrounding buildings is crazy. When we get across the street here, I'll show you guys a little bit more of the actual view of the smoke. Okay. Change your title. I can't change the title while we're live, guys. I could start a new stream, guys. That's an option. Do you guys, I mean, is that a worthwhile option? Should we explore that? Anyway, this is the scene up here. Jeff thinks we should start a new stream. Okay, guys, I am gonna start a new stream. So, guys, if you are watching us right now, yeah, we're gonna start a new stream now, guys, and I will be back momentarily.